The top story today, Prime Minister Modi speaking in Parliament hit out wholly at the Congress, accusing it of adopting the, quote, divide and rule policy of the British to rule a multicultural, diverse country. In response to the Congress's Rahul Gandhi's accusations in his speech in Parliament last week that the government was hurting federalism, Prime Minister Modi said it was the Congress which had the divisive mentality.
जब सीडीएस रावत का बॉडी वहां से निकल रहा था, तब हर तमिलवासी गौरव के साथ हाथ ऊपर कर करके आंख में आंसू के साथ कहता था, वीर वणक्कम, वीर वणक्कम, वीर वणक्कम, ये मेरा देश है। लेकिन कांग्रेस को हमेशा से इन बातों से नफरत रही है। विभाजनकारी मानसिकता उनके डीएनए में घुस गई है। अंग्रेज चले गए, लेकिन बांटो और राज करो, ये नीति कांग्रेस ने अपना चरित्र बना लिया है। और इसलिए ही आज कांग्रेस टुकड़े टुकड़े गैंग की लीडर बन गई है। यहां तमिल सेंटिमेंट को आग लगाने की भारी कोशिश की गई। राजनीति के लिए कांग्रेस की जो परंपरा अंग्रेजों के विरासत में आई दिखती है, तोड़ो 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 और राज करो, तोड़ो और राज करो, बांटो और राज करो। लेकिन मैं आज तमिल भाषा के महाकवि माननीय अध्यक्ष जी, तमिल भाषा के महाकवि और स्वतंत्र सेनानी आदरणीय सुब्रमण्यम भारती ने जो लिखा था, मैं यहां दोहराना चाहता हूं। मन्नुम इमय मलय एंगल मलय पन्नरुम उपनिट नुलेंगल नुले पार मिसे एधोरु नुल इधु पोले पोल निलोर भारत नांडेगल नाडे कोड रुवोम इक्ते इमक किलेडे.
And the Prime Minister also accused the opposition of being responsible for the spread of COVID across India as in the initial days by helping migrant workers stuck in cities during the harsh lockdown to return to their homes in their villages.
इस कोरोना काल में कांग्रेस ने तो हद कर दी। लोगों को प्रेरित किया गया कि जाओ महाराष्ट्र में हमारे पर जो बोझ है वो जरा कम हो, और जाओ तुम उत्तर प्रदेश के हो, तुम बिहार के हो, जाओ वहां कोरोना फैलाओ। आपने हमारे श्रमिक भाइयों बहनों को अनेक परेशानियों में धकेल दिया। दिल्ली में ऐसी सरकार थी जो है, उस सरकार ने तो जीप पर माइक बांध करके दिल्ली की झुग्गी झोपड़ी में गाड़ी घुमा करके लोगों को कहा संकट बड़ा है, भागो, गांव जाओ, घर जाओ। यूपी में, उत्तराखंड में, पंजाब में जिस कोरोना की इतनी गति नहीं थी, इतनी तीव्रता नहीं थी, इस पाप के कारण कोरोना ने वहां भी अपनी लपेट में ले लिया। कितने राजनीतिक दल के नेता जो जनता के माने हुए नेता अपने आप को मानते हैं, उन्होंने लोगों को रिक्वेस्ट की हो, अपील की हो, भाई कोरोना का एक ऐसा संकट है, वैश्विक महामारी है, आप मास्क पहनो, हाथ धोना रखो, 2 गज की दूरी रखो। कितने नेता हैं, क्या ये बार बार देश की जनता को अगर कहते तो उसमें कोई बीजेपी की सरकार को क्या फायदा होने वाला था?
And the Prime Minister also derided the Congress for, as he put it, its arrogance when even out of power.
कि आप में से बहुत लोग ऐसे हैं जिनके सुई कांटा 2014 में अटका हुआ है और उससे वो बाहर ही निकल नहीं पाते हैं। हम तो एक चुनाव हार जाए ना, महीनों तक न जाने इकोसिस्टम क्या क्या करती है। इतना सारा पराजय होने के बावजूद भी न आपका अहंकार जाता है, न आपकी इकोसिस्टम आपके अहंकार को जाने देती है। इन्हें आईना मत दिखाओ, वो आईने को भी तोड़ देंगे। आलोचना ये जीवंत लोकतंत्र का एक आभूषण है, लेकिन अंध विरोध ये लोकतंत्र का अनादर है।
Rahul Gandhi, in his speech last week, had slammed the government over unemployment and what he called the widening gap between two Indias, one for the rich and one for the poor. And today, the Congress responded to the Prime Minister's speech by saying that he was laughing at the suffering of lakhs of Indians.
Poorest 20%, down by 53%, the richest 20%, up by 39%. This is what my senior colleague Rahul Gandhi was talking about when he spoke of two Indias. In fact, sir, this reminds me, since we had the Prime Minister quoting from a distinguished former Prime Minister, let me quote a senior member of this House who used to be a Chief Minister. He said, "Kahan jayega mera navjawan? Kahan jayega ye gareeb maa ka beta? Kahan jayega? Kis desh mein rahega?" Kis desh mein rahega is a very good question to ask the author of these words, who is none other than our Honourable Prime Minister himself, sir. We should ask him, according to his government, the answer for our jobless youth who are facing not just poverty, but an affront to their dignity and their ability to provide for their families today, that they have to wait another 25 years for their Amrit Kal.
And the Aam Aadmi Party's Arvind Kejriwal has also tweeted that the statement of the Prime Minister is completely false and that the country hopes that the Prime Minister will be sensitive to those who have suffered the pain of the corona period, those who have lost their loved ones. He goes on to say that it does not suit the Prime Minister to do politics on the sufferings of people. Meanwhile, schools in Delhi and 4 other states reopened after a surge in COVID cases had led to their closure in December. Physical classes for classes 9 to 12 resumed today in Delhi, in Uttar Pradesh, in Kerala, in Odisha and Bihar, and it was a joyful reunion for both students and teachers.
As weekly cases fall 45%, schools have reopened in Delhi, UP, Kerala, Odisha, Bihar, Punjab, mainly for senior school.
मैं 10th में था जब कोरोना आया था, तो मुझे लग नहीं रहा मैं 12th में आ गया मैम, क्योंकि पता ही नहीं चला कोरोना के टाइम में।
बहुत सारे बच्चे हैं हमारी क्लास में जिनके पास मैम फ़ोन नहीं है, मैम नेट इतने वो रिचार्ज इतने महंगे हो गए कि कोई करवा नहीं सकता। बहुत कम बच्चे हैं मैम, तो मैम तो आना स्टार्ट होंगे क्योंकि आज मैम स्कूल का फर्स्ट दिन है ना, तो इसी मारे तो मैम आधे बच्चे गांव भी गए हैं, हाँ कोई डरते हैं, किसी के मम्मी पापा भेजते नहीं है।
At this school in Delhi, Srinivaspuri, attendance on the first day is thin at around 60%. But the head teacher is confident that it will pick up. Over 90% of the students here between the age of 15 and 18 who are eligible for vaccination have got the first dose. Another cause for optimism, today India recorded less than 1 lakh cases for the first time in a month. However, cases are declining a bit slower than they rose in the third wave, falling by about 15,000 cases per day on average versus an increase of 17,000 per day in early January. Mizoram is the only state where cases are still rising.
Ladakh and Jammu Kashmir have still not announced plans to reopen schools, although cases are falling there. With a return to normalcy almost everywhere else, the hope is that we've not made school shutdowns a knee-jerk reaction and we ensure that going forward, schools are the last to close. With Sachin Gupta, Meher Pandey for NDTV.
And staying with the crucial issue of education, after days of huge protests outside college gates, students of nearly 3 colleges in Kundapur in the coastal town of Udupi district were allowed to enter the college premises on Monday. However, they were not allowed to attend classes. They were segregated and kept in a separate room. And while everyone is awaiting the High Court's hearing on this matter on Tuesday, escalating matters on Monday, right-wing groups were seen handing out saffron scarves to Hindu students to make them wear it now.
Students with hijab finally allowed to enter the premises of 3 colleges, but they are for now not allowed to attend class. The students are baffled. They say all this time they were attending classes in hijab as allowed by the rules.
आज कुछ अंदर जगह तो अंदर कुछ लेसन कुछ नहीं किया है, सिर्फ हम लोगों के लिए एक रूम में बंद किया है, जस्ट इतना ही.
Is that a classroom?
No, it is a hall.
It's an auditorium.
Yes,
Okay. In the auditorium they asked you to stay there in the auditorium.
yes,
But no classes for you
no
all.
class.
Okay. Didn't you all ask the principal why shouldn't you all attend the classes?
No, they told.
They are saying only one thing. If you want to join the class, remove your hijab, then come and sit in a class.
The college administrators cite the government's new rules, which say that educational institutions have to select uniforms that do not disturb equality and law or order. And so, they're not allowing hijabs or students wearing saffron scarves, a move seen as a counter to the hijab protesters. ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಮುಂಚೆ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಕಾಲೇಜ್ ಅವರು ಬಿಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಿ, ರೈಟ್? ಯು ಆಲ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಲೆಫ್ಟ್ ದೆಮ್ ಟು ಸಿಟ್ ಇನ್ಸೈಡ್ ದ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ವಿತೌಟ್ ಅ ಹಿಜಾಬ್.
ಇದು ಮೊನ್ನೆ ಇಶ್ಯೂ ಆದಾಗಲೇ ಆಗಿದೆ, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ, ಬಟ್ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರು.
ಈಗ ಇಶ್ಯೂ ಆಗೋದ್ರಿಂದ ನೀವು ಬೇಡ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರಿ.
ಹೌದಂತೆ, ಮತ್ತೆ ಗಲಾಟೆ ಆಗ್ತದಲ್ಲ, ನಮ್ಮ ಕಾಲೇಜ್ ಗಲಾಟೆ ಇರಲಿಲ್ಲ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಗಲಾಟೆ ಆಗ್ತದಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಬೇಡ ಅಂತ.
Outside one government college, NDTV found Hindutva activists asking students to carry saffron scarves inside their bags and sport them while inside the college premises.
Basically representing ಹಿಂದೂ ಜಾಗರಣ. ಇಲ್ಲ, ಮಕ್ಕಳಿಗೆ ನೀವು ಶಾಲ್ ಹಾಕೊಂಡು ಬರಕ್ಕೆ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಲ್ಲ?
ಮಕ್ಕಳಿಗೆ ಶಾಲ್ ಹಾಕಿ ಬರ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದಲ್ಲ, ಹಿಜಾಬ್ ಹಾಕಿ ಬಂದರೆ ಶಾಲ್ ಹಾಕಿ.
ಇಲ್ಲ, ನೀವು ಬ್ಯಾಗಲ್ಲಿ ಇದು ಶಾಲ್ ಹಾಕೊಂಡು ಬರಕ್ಕೆ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರಲ್ಲ, ಕೇಸರಿ ಶಾಲ್.
ಬ್ಯಾಗಲ್ಲ, ನೀವು ಕೇಳಿದ್ರೆ.
Spotting our camera, the police warns the Hindutva activists that they are being filmed. The protests against the government's hijab ban are spreading to Hassan district in the south of Karnataka, where Muslim students protested. Inside a college in Chikmagaluru, east of Udupi, Dalit students clad in blue and in support of hijab faced off against saffron-clad protesters. Hijab versus saffron protests intensified across the state of Karnataka. But tomorrow, the High Court hearing will decide the fate of many Muslim students who are fighting for their right to wear hijab while attending classes. In Kundapur, with camera person Kumar, Shrija for NDTV.
We're going to go in for a short break. After that, the first glimpse of the new arrival terminal of Delhi's T1 airport. And finally, now domestic passengers flying to Delhi will soon get to experience the T1's new arrival terminal, which has now been completed and is expected to become operational by next week.
We are at the new arrival of the Terminal 1 airport at the Delhi airport. It has been redefined, redesigned for flyers coming in to the national capital. But let's take a look at the top 5 facilities, the new changes and additions made for flyers to experience at this redefined Terminal 1 of the Delhi airport. This is where passengers will arrive once they deboard the plane. They sit on a bus, they come here. This is the bus gate, and as you can see, I'm walking towards the baggage claim. Now with me, we will be entering into the newly designed, the newly redefined Terminal 1 of the Delhi airport. Now as soon as a passenger arrives from the bus gate into this newly redesigned Terminal 1 airport, the first thing that one will see is in fact glass panels all around. So this entire setup has been built with glass panels, and as you can see, there are also LED lights that have been placed on top. LED lights, in fact, is an effort of the GMR group to ensure that they conserve energy as much as possible. And in fact, more than natural light, these lights, the LED lights, will be dimmed. The width between two baggage belts has been increased. This, of course, is being done as a measure to ensure that crowding between two baggage claims do not offer more congestion, do not congest more people in one area. So the distance between two baggage belts has been increased. One baggage claim, one baggage belt can cater to 3 flights. Now, who doesn't like to wait for their loved ones to arrive while they grab a cup of coffee or with a bouquet of flowers? Well, at the newly designed Terminal 1 of the Delhi airport, we will now see a visitors gallery which will see passengers and their families, near and dear ones, in fact, waiting at the visitors gallery while they grab a cup of coffee or shop a little. As soon as passengers exit the Terminal 1 of the Delhi airport, the main concern for anybody is connectivity, and well, that too has been sorted at this newly built, newly designed airport, Terminal 1 of the Delhi airport, where we will see that the metro station is at nearly about 150 steps away. That is the IGI airport metro station of the Delhi airport and the Delhi metro connectivity between each other, just about 100 steps, 150 steps, to ensure that there is a smooth transition of taxis. Now, taxis is something that the common man is dependent on if they don't have their own transport, and to ensure that smooth connectivity, Olas, Ubers, black and yellow taxis, premium taxis, all kinds of transport will be made available as soon as you exit at the Terminal 1, the newly built Terminal 1 of the Delhi airport. You will see that there have been lanes that have been made. In fact, there are additional lanes to ensure smooth passage of traffic. Well, this is Delhi's newly built, newly designed Terminal 1 of the Delhi airport. From glass panels to visitors galleries to additional lanes being created inside to sensor technology. Given airports see a lot of congestion and chaos, hopefully this will offer a better and a smoother experience. With Sudesh Ram, Shunakshi Chakravarti for NDTV.